Okay, I hope that everybody can hear me now. It seems like I've been speaking for the past couple of minutes uh, without any sound. So like I said, my name is Daniel. This is the AvaTrade Live Q&A webinar. I'm sorry for the delay. For a few minutes, our team had to sort out some technical obstacles, but we can finally begin. Okay, so before we will begin, I would like to make sure that everybody can hear me properly and that can see the chart here. Okay, and the lovely presentation. Okay, so we're just gonna have a nice guide through of what will happen in the webinar today. Firstly, we will have the previous questions. Okay, we will have the story that's supposed to be this way. Okay, so the previous questions is what we are going to begin with. Previous questions from other webinars that we have gathered, common questions perhaps, and then we will have the dynamic questions, which is the purpose of this webinar. That means that you guys can ask along the webinar all kind of questions regarding anything that you may have on your mind, and then of course I'll address it accordingly. Okay, regardless the topic that we are talking about. And then on the third part, okay, as you can see here, links, information, and webinar privileges, I'll paste some nice links regarding that can save you some time. Okay, later on I'll share it with you, and at the end of it, you're gonna receive a nice benefit code that can qualify you to receive a one-on-one premium market review. Okay, all right. So right now we are going to begin. Let's just first. Okay, can everybody can see the chart here? Please comment in the question section if you can see the chart here. That would be great. Okay, so the chart here. Okay, let's fold it down. I hope that everybody can see the chart. Okay, because only some people commented, and I would like more people to comment that the chart is visible. Okay, so this webinar will be recorded. So even if somebody has to see only part of it or so, you can still see it later on our channel. It's important to know that any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that the webinar is recorded as it's supposed to be, and then we will begin. Thank you very much. Okay, it seems like everything is in place. So like I said, we are going to open with the questions that we've got. Okay, so the first quote, we're just going to read them out loud, and let me put down some notepad for us to take some notes. Okay, so the first question, how can I find out about upcoming events? Okay, the second question is it possible to receive signals with AvaTrade? Okay, great. The third one, what is the difference between balance of 100 to balance of 1,000, of 1,000? Off. Okay, let's skip it. What educational tools is AvaTrade providing? Okay, who can help me when I have a question? Yeah, that seems. Who can I address when I have a question? Sorry. Who can I address when I have a question? That looks good. Okay, so how? Let's first begin with the first one. There is another question here by Wikas. As a beginner, what are some preferred indicators? I guess you meant indicators that I can use. Let me paste your question down. We're gonna make it as organized as we can. Although I must say, guys, indicators, and okay, I must say, guys, that your questions might be recomposed, because as you can see, this is the whole question here. Could be in a shorter version, okay, but we'll get to it. Let's begin from the beginning. I think this is the simplest one to begin with, and then we can warm up. So how can I find out? Okay, that's a lovely question. Pretty common, to be honest. Okay, so one of the things, there are a few ways. Okay, the most famous one is the economic. So let's mention the regular way. So we can Google things. We can search it online. Let's just search it online. Okay, that's one of the things. Although I think the question refers to how can I find out, as in how can I know? So I think to search it online, okay, let's leave it as an option. It's not really a bad idea. Sometimes it does the trick. And another thing that we're providing, as you see, there is some kind of a globe icon here, which is called Discovery. And in Discovery, you have economic calendar. Okay, and in the economic calendar, what you're going to find is you're going to find exactly that. You're going to find that you can choose different. Is it already filtered? Okay. Let's clean the board. Okay, what I did is I canceled what I had on the search. Okay, I have a search magnify here, which I can search if, for instance, we're gonna go for payroll, because the nearest one, let's see, that's 2nd of June. That's correct. Okay, so you see, I can search what I want. And I think what we had before is the interest rate. You see, so whatever I search, it finds the nearest event. Oop, I have a typo. Okay, perhaps if I look for CPI. Okay, so it's very user friendly. You can also search by date. So for instance, I want to see what is next Monday. Okay, so not really a market related event. Okay, can you see I'm just playing with it. The nice thing about it is we have low, medium, and high. So high meaning it will have high impact on the market. It's a significant event such as the interest rate or so on. Let's try, because we are marked on a day. But okay. All right, if I do this, it just filters. It just what about recent and next? Okay. All right. What else I can show you is that I can filter by countries as well. Let's suppose that I am only analyzing things related to Russia or things related to Greece. Okay. All right, or mostly US. So I'm just going to click US. Okay, and nice thing is, if I click here, it marks the whole list. Okay, it marks, oh, sorry, no, that's the G7. If I click all countries, then it marks the whole list. And if I click it again, it clean the list. So this is how you can find. So the first one is to search online. Perhaps, you know what, I am AvaTrade employee, so it's better to put AvaTrade's option first. Discovery, right? Let's see that it's in here. Okay, Discovery. All right, so in Discovery, you have fascinating things beside the economic calendar. You can also have analysis views and market buzz and Forex features ideas. They are all technical analysis. Okay, this one is for fundamental analysis. And later on, I'm going to show you, because there is a question here about signals, right? So I'm going to show you AvaTrade in general don't provide signals, but we have something that can very similar that can be very helpful. Okay, so we're gonna paste those answers on the lovely presentation. Hopefully we can get it smaller with no issues. There we go. Perfect. Oops. Yeah. So this is the answer. And is it possible to receive signals with AvaTrade? Okay, so we're gonna take this question. By the way, is there any question about what I've explained? The first questions, do we have any doubts, anything that was not understood? Okay. Right. So, no, there is a question from Rachel. If we need to pay, the answer is no. Okay, those are all free services. Okay, Rachel, and for everybody else, whatever I'm showing you now is completely free. Those are services that AvaTrade is providing for for free. So we're going to carry on with the second question. Is it possible to receive? Now we're going back to the main page. This is usually how it looks. I must say that this is the web trader. Okay, for the people who still didn't have a chance to log in, so that's the web trader. We have a similar interface in an app that's called AvaGo. Okay, and regarding the signals, is it possible to receive? I want you to notice that some assets, let me bring, oh, there you go. So you see sometimes you don't have it, but when you have it, this lightning thingy icon, okay, if I click it, what happens then on the sidebar to the right? What do I have? I have some instructions. Okay, so signals by simple interpretation are instructions what to buy and what to sell. That means that acknowledging this information, what I can understand, you see there is even a take profit and stop loss. So I understand thanks to that let's expand the chart a bit. So I can understand thanks to that they are giving me levels and they are giving me the keys to where to enter and why does it make sense. Okay, this is for today. This is not AvaTrade's advice. This is the Trading Central. Okay, that's a worldwide institution. It's not that we are sending signals on our behalf. This is something that you can enjoy just by clicking on one of those and then it opens. That could be, doesn't necessarily have to be currencies. Let's try something else. You see, you have it with gold, you have it with copper. Let's see, indices. You see with the indices. Okay, anyway, that's very interesting to see. Of course, people who already know what I'm usually saying, and that is, this is an additional layer, and that is not something that I can purely go blindly with. Okay, I must at least know the basics to know how to use it. Okay, 5 instructions what to buy and what to sell. I still need to do risk money management. I still need to make sure that my budget is computable. I still have a lot of things to do. Well, not a lot, but it's advisable to do the right preparations. Okay, so is it possible? I'm just gonna put here that this is also part of the discovery. Okay, if you click it, okay, as it's written here. So you can enjoy it for free as such the other services that I showed. It's right here. So you can see here signals. Okay, so what we're going to write down is signals are provided by Trading Central. Okay, and they are free to use via the web trader. Okay, the web trader is what we're looking at. Yeah, just to clarify, this one I get when I log in with my email and password to AvaTrade. Okay, that's where I'm supposed to be. If I don't see it for some reason, if I don't see the platform, I must contact the customer service, which is right here underneath. Okay, at the bottom left, you have chat with us in the WhatsApp version, or I can send an email to cs@avatrade.com and they will fix it for me. Okay, but it should appear this way. Actually, it should appear this way. Okay, and then I must click on the arrows to make it fall down, and then if I click 0 by it, opens the sidebar. Okay, let's paste the lovely question, the answer that we have on our presentation. Okay, and this could be a little smaller. Perfect. What is the difference? Okay, what is the difference between something here is bothering me, between a balance of 1,000 of 100 to a balance of 1,000? Never mind. Okay, let's try that. So you know what, guys, I want you to tell me what you think. Let's suppose there is an account with 100, there is an account with 1,000. Let's suppose that those both traders are on the same, give or take the same level of experience. What is the difference? What do you think? What is the difference? Anybody has any idea? What's the difference between an account that has 100 to an account that has 1,000? Budget. Exactly. Okay. Thank you, Will. Who else? Who else beside Will? Have tried logging into AvaTrade but failed the whole of yesterday. Coming from Namazi Sandra. So Sandra, what I suggest you'll do is you'll contact your senior account manager or the folks here at the customer service. They are impeccable. They are going to sort it for you. No issues. Okay. Can I just ask which browser are you using? Just for the sake of the discussion. I'm not a big technologist, but just trying to diagnose. What browser are you using, if I may ask? Okay, let's go back to our question. Like I said, it's Chrome. With Chrome, you shouldn't, at least not that I'm aware of, but shouldn't be any problem with Chrome. But try the customer service. Try and upload a screenshot of what you're experiencing. Do you get an error, or what's blocking you from logging in? Okay, so weakest 100 is less than 1,000. 1,000 allows your account to be longer active. Let me keep reading to active, and also allow you to diversify more. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful answer. Okay, so Will wrote down budget. Weakest here gave much more elaborated answer. So but in general, we understand that the difference at the end of the day is truly budget, right? The budget for what? Okay, so let's translate the budget to margin. Okay, margin. Okay, budget. Okay, and let's understand what is margin supposed to do. Why would I want to have 1,000 and not 100? Okay, let's understand. Let's suppose that we are going to go with crude oil. I don't know why. I just feel like crude oil. Oh, there we go. You see, we already have circles. What did we look at yesterday? Who can tell me? Yesterday, I think we could be with crude oil as well. I had another 2 lectures, so I can't really remember, but it seems like it. Does that mean that we're gonna have to pick something else? What about corn? Corn is also marked with a lot of nice things. Oh my God, it's pretty amazing. What about wheat? Okay, for some reason I think that we've done it with wheat. Okay, sure. Let's keep it this way then. Okay. Right now, it seems like wheat is standing on 604. That means that with the budget that I have, well, this is a demo account, as everybody can see here, $10,000. Let's examine that and try and correlate that between what we have learned. So the budget, the margin, what it needs to do is it's giving you buying power or selling power. Buying or selling power. Okay, it's letting you sustain. Okay, what else, guys? What do I mean by sustain? To sustain? What exactly are we sustaining here? Who can tell me? So when I'm taking a position here, let's suppose that I decided to go for a buy. I decided to go for a buy. Why is it? Oh, right. Another thing, guys, as you can see, if I don't click sell or buy, it might as well didn't open. Okay, but if it would have been like that, you see that I can choose the chart. I can choose crude oil as an example. It's gonna change. We're gonna give it a second and it's gonna change. You see crude oil here. Then I expand, but it's not gonna give me the sidebar. So sometimes the sidebar is gonna show you something else. So be careful and make sure that you're clicking sell or buy. Otherwise, it's not gonna appear for you. It's not gonna appear for you the sidebar. Okay? You must click sell or buy. Okay, this time it appeared, but it could just as much stays like before. So let's suppose that I'm going to go with a buy, and I'm going to go with a buy 604. That means that for some reason I'm aiming for 615. Let's say around here. So we're going to click on the tiny arrow, click on the price line, and put it on 615. Okay, is there any guarantee that that's gonna get to 615? Anybody? Absolutely not. On the other way around, could be. It's possible that if I'll take this buy, wheat will even fall any further. Could be even to here. Okay, before it turns around, or to here even. Okay, and in this case, what will happen is, okay, we're gonna use two things: pending orders. Each of those pending orders, that means that they are active, they're being activated automatically. So that means that if it reaches that price, or that price, if it reaches 615, that means that it's heading up, right? When we are buying, our intention is that the asset will be higher, and when we are selling, so we are hoping that the asset will go down. Now, if I'm buying and it goes down, I'm gonna have a loss. If I'm selling and it goes up, I'm gonna have a loss. So when I'm buying my take profit, it means that I want to close my position with the profit. Okay, so that means I'm gonna make profit if it's going up, okay, and a loss if it's going down, because we are with a buy. Now, how much can I make or lose? Let's just put here 50, just for the sake of the discussion, or maybe 50 it's too much. Let's go with 10. 10 is also a bit too much. Let's go with 1. How is 1? Okay, that's fair enough. 595. Okay, beautiful. Now, let's suppose that I have $100, and in my $100, okay, in my $100, I'm taking this position with wheat. I'm taking this buy, and then, okay. Now, I want you to watch carefully the numbers here. Okay, let's make it a little more interesting. Oh, that's too much. I don't even have the budget to do that. Okay. Okay, but let's keep it as it is. Okay, so I'm taking a buy with wheat. Buy at 604. Okay. Take profit is 615. It means that potentially $10, a little more than that even, $11. Okay. And stop loss is 595. Okay, so that means that we are potentially losing 10. Okay. First of all, let me ask you that. This is, we're gonna put here balance, $100 balance. Okay, that's case one. We have two cases. We're gonna have another case with 1,000. That means that we can have a bigger position, so we're not gonna go for 1, we'll have it with 5. Okay, and why did it change? Stop loss. Okay, there we go. And for some reason here it looks different as well. No, that's fine. That's completely okay. Let's look in here, guys. So we have 1,000. We have a case. Let me delete. I don't want to delete this area, otherwise, if there will be questions, let's try and keep it this way. Okay, so in this scenario, here we have 100, here we have 1,000. We're doing the same things almost. Almost with the numbers, but the results, okay, the results will be almost the same here. The stop loss 47. Okay, sure. Let's keep it this way. So what are the scenarios here? Okay, in here, I'm just gonna mention 5 units, and in here 1 unit. Okay, now typically I would think, I would know that 100 is, that 1,000 is 10 times 100. Okay, so if I'm using only 100, let me just show you here. I cannot take more than a single unit. Okay, why? Why can't I do that? Let's understand. Because the price, can everybody see the price here? The price per unit is, for wheat, 604. So that means that the value for 604 multiply 1, because we're taking 1 unit, is 604. Now, we are using a platform that is giving us a leverage. As you can see here, it comes by default. Okay, so the leverage here, 1 to 10, will give me the strength, the ability, as if I had 10 times more with wheat. Okay, it's not that the leverage is overall 1 to 10. In particular with wheat, my balance will behave as if I had 10 times more. Okay, but there is collateral that I must have in the account to use this leverage. That means that if my leverage is 1 to 10, I need at least 10% of the value. If my leverage would have been 1 to 5, I would have need 20% of the value. If my leverage is 1 to 20, I'll need 5% of the value. So every time I must divide the value by the leverage. Okay, the value by what I'm getting. So this 9,000, how did we get there? This 600, what I am actually required is 600 divided by 10. We don't need a calculator for that, but okay, is 60, right? So because we only have 100 in this scenario, I can't go beyond 1 unit, okay? And even with 1 unit, let's suppose that I took this position 60, I'm using it's occupied to sustain the position, to afford the position. That's great. Okay, let's look in here. If I'm using 60, okay, and God forbid I'm losing this here, this $10 or 99 something. Let's make it this way. Okay, so that means that I've already lost 10% of my capital. 10% of my capital. So beside taking another position with wheat, that if I would have wanted, so I can't. Obviously, I can't. If wheat goes down the hill, I can accidentally wipe out my whole account, right? If it goes down, God forbid, $20 from where it's at right now, so that means that I'm already wiping 20%. So I'm getting even farther away from the margin requirement. Now, with 1,000, and again, of course, no need to mention that I'm not able to open another position because I don't have enough margin. Now, if I'm looking at the 1,000, not only that I can take 5 units, let me show it to you. Okay, again, with the balance of 1,000, if it costs 300 to sustain it, if this is a requirement, okay. Also, if my stop loss is $10 away, what will be my loss? My loss will be, okay, $50. $50 out of 1,000, how much is that? 5%, right? Out of 1,000, 10% is 100, so 5 is 50. All right, great. More than that, I can take even more than a single position. I can even take 3. So that's what I meant to sustain the position. To sustain the position, that means that I'm able to survive. Okay, I'm able to survive if, God forbid, wheat let's change the price a little more drastically, just for so actually with 100 I wouldn't be able to afford it. Anyway, the point is that 100 is limiting you to do certain things. It doesn't mean that people can't make money with 100. People are doing it daily basis. It's just not as simple as with the 1,000, because with the 1,000 you're just able to do more. That's how I would conclude the question here. Okay, yeah, so do we have any questions regarding anything that I've explained so far? Anything that I've explained about the margin, about the budget, about... All is clear. Wow, that's an answer that I don't get every day. Thank you so much. All right, let's carry on to another question. What educational tools is AvaTrade providing? Okay, so if the leverage is higher, the more likely your account will be sustained. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yes, the more leverage you have, the more buying or selling power you have. That's correct. What educational tools is AvaTrade providing? Okay, so this is not something that I'm going to use my lovely notepad for. I'm just going to put it down. We have webinars. We have the education that I'm going to share with you. We have the academy. And we have, beside that, a senior account manager. That's, by the way, that's exactly the answer for that question as well. Who can I address when I have a question? This individual, guys, those guys are assigned. This is one of the only companies, and I've seen other companies online. This is one of the only companies that is assigning a senior account manager to actually to give you service. And then it's instead of asking a whole company for assistance, you're asking a person who is in the company for you. Okay, so a senior account manager can also, let me just paste it here just for the protocol. It's not really required, but yeah, so webinars, education section, the academy, senior account manager. Yeah, I believe it's pretty much it. There are other things, but it's more seasonal, so we are working on different things all the time. So I also suggest people to check their email. There are all kind of interesting things that we're sending. Okay, so this is about that segment. Okay, previous webinars questions. So those are the previous questions. Now we're gonna address the questions from the audience. Okay, so do we have any more questions beside asking about the leverage, which I've explained, and about that question, which I'm going to explain in a moment? Do we have any more questions? No, I'm not sure. Okay, so we have a question from Shannon. If I can assist with a strategy, the answer is no, because just because we don't have the time, and I'm not really sure by a strategy. Okay, on a nutshell. Just let me finish this question, and then we'll see. We have another question from Lulu Sikachua. Can you please demonstrate again how to work with Fibonacci? I have tried, and the different colors do not show. Does it needs setting somehow, somewhere? Let's try our best with this question. Why can't I paste that one? Okay. It doesn't seem to, for some reason, it doesn't seem to take the question from the question section. How frustrating. Maybe now? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that's about that. And I'm gonna recompose your question, Sarah. Who asked that about strategy? Let's see. Oh, sorry, Shannon. Shannon, you asked about a strategy, but I'm gonna recompose your question because it's like I said. Okay, so just can you explain about a strategy? Please forgive me, but those long questions can be summarized to smaller questions. Strategy. Okay, there we go. Okay, can you demonstrate about? Okay, the answer is of course yes. As a beginner, preferred, could use to, yes. Okay, of course. For you guys, of course. Are there any more? Actually, we have 12 minutes, so I'm not even sure that if we'll have more questions, we'll have time for it. Let's just settle with what we have now. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to share with you in the meantime. I'm just going to share, so otherwise I won't have time at the end of it. I'm just going to share with you those links through the chat section. Maybe later on you'll need that. So that's for the education. That's amazing education center, and I'm not saying it because I'm employed by AvaTrade. I'm also saying it as I've compared with other companies. This is a very, very rich education section. It's showing you almost every possible explanation, the basics, of course, that you need to know about candlesticks, about analysis, about risk money management, about candlesticks formation, about indicators. Everything that you can imagine is there. Okay, and it's very, very recommended. And this is the login and deposit. There is no need to really explain what it does. Okay, if you decided that you've been on the demo for long enough and now you want the real account, you have the link here. This is for the FAQ and the help center. Okay, and lastly, the academy. Okay, and I'll do you guys a favor and I'll also give you the benefit code. Okay, recently I started doing it because people complained that they didn't have the time to catch the code before the end of the webinar, because I used to give it a minute or two before the end. Now I'm giving it at this stage. Okay, so as a beginner, what are some preferred indicators that I can use to help me start? I'm just going to recompose your question again. I'm so sorry. What are the indicators do you recommend for beginners? Beginners. There we go. Okay. What are, can you demonstrate? Okay. Can you explain about strategy? Sure. Let's begin from the beginning. What are the indicators? Okay. Let's get rid of that. And if you guys, if you don't mind, because we are short on time, we're going to line them up, all of them, and simply take them one by one. Firstly, the Fibonacci rays are super simple. What you do, or the retracement, that depends what you're using. Who asked me this question about Fibonacci? Let's see. I don't want to scroll all the way up, but whoever asked me about Fibonacci, please pay attention. Okay, there are three types that we can land on the chart. The first one is retracement. The way that it works is you click and you drag, and then you can play along with it. You just move it across the chart. Okay, as you can see here, to what fits to what the asset has done. So for instance, what I did is I changed the time frames, right? I changed the time frames. Okay, and then I can take the retracement and I can place it on 76, which seems to be my resistance. And I'm just going to click and drag it down. Then I have the line here to simplify the general agenda, the general trend. And then I have the levels here, which I can make comparison. Okay, then I can know the proportions. High up there is the farthest point. Okay, if I'm looking at the rays, so the rays will work, same idea, right? As you can see here, there's a little more triangle than the flat lines, the price lines. And on here, that's the actual arc. It looks like a little supernova with like space. Okay. No, we don't seem to find it in the indicators. I'm very sorry, but maybe it was called differently, but you can use it from, like I said, from what is written here. Okay, so this is the first question. Can you demonstrate what are the indicators that you recommend for beginners? So Fibonacci, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily one of them. What could be great, what I like to use, okay, when I'm teaching my beginners, is called moving averages or true ATR, average true range. Okay, I click and drag, and then it helps me understand we are on days. Okay, so it helps me understand how much can wheat possibly moved in a day. What's the average movement? Okay, if I'm looking at here, why don't I have any information? Because the crosshair is by default. If I click here to change it, then every candle is going to give me the information. Okay, this comes by default, then no information. If I change it, then there we go. Okay, so as you can see here, the difference between the open and the close is $1, a little more than that. Here it's open 72, close 73.8, still a little more than $1. And what it does, you see here, average true range, ATR. So it just summarized the whole thing, and it's giving us an average of how much it's moving per day. If I change from days to weeks, watch what happens. It's gonna change. And if I'm changing it to months, okay, still, it's gonna keep on changing. Okay. Another indicator could be Bollinger Bands. Also, momentum could be good. EMA could be good. What else? Anyway, I'm not supposed to recommend, indicators. Everybody can use what they want to use. And to get rid of everything, I click delete all and then save. Okay. What other questions we had? Can you demonstrate? Done on the chart. I actually started with the second, but whatever. Second one is not supposed to really recommend, but 8. We're gonna put it as an example. ATR. Okay, average true range. Can you explain about strategy? Okay, so Shannon, you have explained to me that you're having difficulties as a beginner, and if I can assist you with the strategy, and I have explained that it's nearly impossible to explain to assist you on this on the live Q&A to assist you to help you make a strategy. I'm just going to tell you what I think that should be necessary should help you make your own strategy. Okay, because like I said, right now, right here, it's not something that I can do. Okay, so can you explain about having a strategy or making a strategy? That's more appropriate. Okay, and the way that it works is super simple. What is a strategy, guys? Who can explain to me what is a strategy and what is a plan? What's the difference between having a plan, I need a trading plan, to a strategy? What do you think? What is a strategy for the people who are more advanced, not for beginners? Beginners, to explain about a strategy, it's more complicated, but people who are intermediate or advanced, what do you think that is a strategy? Right now, you want to trade wheat, maybe not wheat. We're looking at oil. Still, it's with wheat. Let's suppose that I want to trade Tesla. Okay, right? So, okay, Tesla. Let's suppose. Right. So I have what is a strategy, guys? The difference between a plan to a strategy, right? So a plan is made out of numbers and goals and dates. Which is account management. Strategy let's see here. Approach to trading. Perfect. Coming from, let's see here, Frederick. Frederick, thank you so much. If you can elaborate, what do you mean by approach to trading? Approach, what kind of an approach? What is an approach? Okay, so this could also be included in a plan, but a strategy is um, how many and how frequent my positions are going to be. The method, exactly. Lulu, what about trading guidelines? Yeah, that's exactly the point here. Trading guidelines. Those are both things that are in a plan and in a strategy. I could write down those things here and those things there. But the difference is that in a strategy, I can decide that my plan can stay the same. It could stay the same for a year. Okay, my annual plan, my yearly plan to make 12,000. I want to average 1,000 a month. Okay, and I can keep on changing the strategies every month. Okay, Shannon, you're still with us because you're the one who asked the question. I feel commitment that you will see the answer. Okay, but of course other people should enjoy it as well. So okay, so you understand the difference, Shannon. I can keep on trying different strategies. I can try scalping and I can try intraday and I can try smaller positions and I can try bigger positions, longer positions. I can keep changing my strategy as many times as I want. But my plan will stay the same. My plan, my goals, my dates will all stay the same. Okay? Because a plan could be, let's say, it's similar to a business plan, and a strategy is just a form of how you, I don't have a definition for that, but how you practically do things. Okay, that's the difference. Which, as I wrote down here, just on a nutshell, an account manager can help you exactly with that. Okay, with a strategy, which you see, I was about to say that I don't have enough time, and then I just noticed that our time is already up. Okay, so in this forum, in this webinar, that's as far as I can go. All right, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't speak about analysis too much, but as you saw, we had questions from dear clients, so we had to fulfill the purpose for the webinar. I would like to thank you all for joining. Of course, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. If you wouldn't ask, I wouldn't be able to give this explanation. So thank you for asking. You didn't waste anybody's time. Thank you all for coming. Of course, love to see you again next week. And that's it. Best of luck with your trading. Make a lot of money and have a good day.